Okay, why don't we get started?
Hold on, let's make sure. Pua, are you there?
Hoa?
She might be multitasking, doing more than one thing. Well, from Pua forward, she's recording now. Thank you.
Okay, so we're missing Arnie and Alex, and Pat.
Okay, well, let's
Okay,
start
we're
anyway.
gonna start. All right, let's bring the meeting to order. Were there any public comments? Jeanette?
None.
Didn't hear anything. Okay. No additions to the agenda. All right. Next item of business is minutes of February 6th meeting. Have you all had a chance to look at them? I'll need a motion to accept them if there are no corrections.
Motion to accept.
Okay. And Kathy and Janet weren't present at the meeting, so you guys won't be voting for that.
Right.
A second? Oh, Arnie? Okay, perfect.
Was that Jen who made the motion?
Yes,
Jen.
And I need a second for the minutes. A second to the motion? Will somebody second the motion to the accept?
You can second it even if you weren't here.
Okay, then I'll second it.
You just can't vote to approve.
I can't vote on them.
Okay, good. Okay, perfect. All right, so roll call vote. Jen? Jen?
Yes.
Okay. Arnie?
Yes.
Okay. Viviana?
Yes.
Okay. Lauren is not here. Kathy, you can't vote on them, and myself, yes. Okay.
I just want to mention something. I'm having very tricky internet issues today. So if I disappear, it's not because I'm angry at everybody. It's because my Wi-Fi is angry at everybody. So I apologize ahead of time.
They can vote, Susan. They're just abstaining from the vote. So we want to count their abstentions.
Right.
So I have 402.
Let me see. Janet abstained too. Janet and Kathy abstained. And Pat is not here. So we have Jen is 1, 2, Viviana, Susan 3. Janet?
I got 4.
And
Janet?
Arnie.
Arnie.
Arnie. Right. Okay. 4.
402.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. That's the most difficult part of our meeting tonight, guys. Okay. Moving through the agenda. Jeanette, will you please tell us about the operating budget for FY23? It's not much to say, just we want to mention that there's a preliminary budget hearing. I assume that's all you want said. Is that correct?
Actually, I do have a little bit of an update.
Okay, fine.
So let me just, I'm sorry. So in the first round of the budget process, the Board of Selectmen have made their cuts to the budget and approvals as is. They have passed on from that. They received a, if you totaled all department requests and commission requests for budget, that was a 10% increase overall in the budget. And they have moved to provide the Board of Finance with a 4.98 increase. So they've cut the increase by half, which is a good start. Because we all know we don't want our taxes to go up 10% or however it works, with 1% grand list growth and 10% increase in expenses and maybe a difference of 9% there. They've already gotten the budget down by half. That said, good news for most of our department. We received a $600 cut, which was the $600 we requested additional funds in youth services. So they don't tell us how to use the money. They don't tell us that we can't give an employee an added stipend or something. They tell us we have $600 less to do it with. So our plan, I think, is to move forward how we intended to go and just do it with $600 less. I don't think Nancy and we discussed a plan to bring some of our well, one in particular of our per diem, our youth services staff into a reasonable amount of salary, and we plan to continue with that, I'm pretty sure. Nancy and I will meet later to discuss. None of our capital requests were granted. However, the car likely was the result of additional funds that the senior center is, I don't want to say 100% getting, but it looks like the senior center will get $31,000 as a distribution from ARPA funds coming directly to the state for use in senior centers. They had a some sort of system whereby depending on the number of residents over age 60, the number of residents in low income levels, the number of residents in minority, and Arnie got kicked out and he's asking to come
Yeah.
back in. Sorry. And transportation, like as in Woodbridge has no buses, that kind of situation. They had a formula, and each municipality got a certain amount, and it looks like 31,000, and transportation is one of the parameters for this money. So Christy and I discussed the potential for getting a slightly used vehicle from the state list, perhaps, or as close as we can to $31,000 for a vehicle, and we have high hopes now of getting it. So this information was provided to the finance department ahead of their tough talks. And I'm sure that went into their decision to not grant our car when it looked like we could get the car elsewhere, because I really believe this year they were going to fund that car. So lucky situation for the town to offset that expenditure with some federal funds. And I say thank you to those who chose to give the town of Woodbridge that money. And I think other than that, just know that the preliminary budget hearing will be April 24th. Can someone come to the preliminary budget hearing and ask to slash our budget? Sure. We would love to have your presence there. It's happened before. Jen's nodding her head. I know Jen knows more than anyone that it can happen. And your presence is always welcome to get up to a microphone and say why this department is so important and why you would oppose any more cuts to it. So you're invited. That's it.
Jeanette, I have a question about the $31,000. The hope would be to get the best car you can, with that money if it's granted. Is there be any discussion with the town would they be able to contribute something to if you needed more for the best vehicle you could, maneuver?
So haven't gotten there yet. It's a great question. I would hope that I'm sorry, Jen, the meeting is at 7:30 at Amity High School auditorium on April 24th. I would hope, Kathy, that if we were very close, we could either find the money within our budget, or that they'd be able to, we'd go to the selectmen and ask for a couple of $1,000 if it was just slightly over.
Right.
Christy's done some great research, and I applaud her for her efforts to find cars that seniors specifically can climb in and out of with comfort and good gas mileage and all of that we would need. And so we will, I assure you, be looking for the right car, more about the right car for us than the specific cost. I think,
Right.
we have a 2008s with 180 plus thousand miles on it. So if we can find ourselves into a 2018 or a 2019 vehicle with 40,000 or 50,000 miles, we're going to be thrilled. And I think our clients will notice. So thanks.
Or, excuse me, Jeanette, you're
Yes.
not basically looking for a brand new car. You would take a used car?
Yes, we would take a used car, but not 2008. We would take,
All right.
if it's a year or two, and it goes from, $36,000 to $31,000 and is in our price range because it's 2 or 3 years old. Sure.
All right, so 31,000 is the only thing we can afford right now.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That will be our budget. And frankly, I'm talking without knowledge. That's the allotment. I don't know if there's, other costs associated with this grant. We have not gotten the actual paperwork on the grant yet, so hard to know. But yes, it's approximately 31,000.
All right, because I'm gonna talk to someone. I'm not gonna say too much more, but I'm gonna try to talk to someone about that. About getting a used vehicle.
A good used vehicle.
Yeah, well, the reason is I bought 2 of them. And it's unbelievable. They come with certification and everything.
Yeah, I just bought 2 over the summer. I bought 2 2018 vehicles for my 20-something-year-old kids, and they both were certified, and they're both
Yeah.
excellent cars. So that's why I'm okay with not getting a brand new car. I think our dollars are spent wisely if we get a certified used
And
car.
basically, it would have to fit people comfortably, right?
Yeah, you can give Christy a call and she can give you
Yeah, I
some of the
will.
details on some of those vehicles. I think that would be fine.
Yeah, let me do that. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Janet.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
that's all I have.
if there are no questions, we don't need a motion for that. Christy, would you give the Woodbridge Center report, please?
Sure. So for Heart Health Month in February, we had several new people that tried out the aerobics class that we offered at no cost on Tuesdays. We also, for Heart Health Month, offered a lunch and learn on AFib and congestive heart failure, and it was very well attended with 17 people coming to that. The Super Sweet Masquerade drive-through luncheon was also well attended. There was 100 meals that we distributed for that. And the next drive-through will be the St. Patrick's Day drive-through that will be on March 16th. And that will be sponsored by Coachman Square and Southern Connecticut Gas United Illuminating. In February, we also had a Valentine's Day craft that was provided by Hamden Health. I know some of these workshops or crafts that we offer may seem trivial, but it's more than the activity. It's about the experience and building connections for those that come and attend them. They really enjoy coming and being with other people, and they really look forward to them. I had somebody who called up recently and they signed up for several programs for March. And at the end, she said, thanks for making my life fun. And it's not just because she's coming and she's making a Valentine's Day card. It's because she's coming, she's looking forward to socializing her friends, and she's making these connections that are so important. Unfortunately, over the last few months, we lost a lot of our clients, several clients at the center, a lot of them. And it's the connections that they make when they come, and their friends who they leave behind that are here, and they have those connections and support already in place so that, you know, they have that to help them get through these difficult times. One of the ways that we used to build a really big support group was through our lunch bunch that we used to offer monthly before the pandemic. And this was, for those of you that don't know, it was a group of people, anybody could sign up, and most of them would meet at the center, and we would provide transportation to a local restaurant the transportation fee was a nominal charge, and then they would self-pay at the restaurant. And it was something they really looked forward to, and it was a great socializing time. And Jeanette and I were asked many times during the pandemic, when is that going to resume? You know, we missed that. We miss getting together and going to the restaurants and socializing. So we took a small group to see 80 for Brady, the movie, and then we had lunch at Brookside Inn in Oxford, and they really enjoyed it. And so, of course, it was asked, when are we going to resume monthly? And so we are going to start doing that at the end of this month. We'll be going to Carmine's. So that's a little bit of normalcy after the pandemic that they're all looking forward to. Also in March, we're going to have an immersive Ireland experience at the end of this week on Friday. There'll be a virtual tour, trivia, and treats, and that has 20 people already signed up for it. We're also going to have on the 22nd a free healthy cooking demo that will be put on by Chef Tony from the Linden. And so she'll be teaching how to cook for 1 or 2 people and how to do it healthfully. And then additional program information. The transportation program has been getting really busy over the past few months, or the past couple months, with the increased overall usage. In November, we had 120 total rides. In December, 120. In January, we had 149. And then in February, even though it was a short month and we had a snow day we canceled programming for, and we had a holiday, we still had 143 total rides for that. And we have a new volunteer that has started volunteering for the lunch program, the delivery program. She's helping out packaging up the meals. Her name's Katie Bear. She helped out a lot in human services in the food pantry, and she's just is really efficient and just really great to work with, and she usually jumps in. She's a big help. So we're happy to have her. Jeanette will get into details about the center renovation, but just to follow up with last month, the projector and screen, we're moving forward with the pre-wire portion only just because the ceiling's open and it's more cost effective to do it now. Most of those costs will be covered through the grant that we were awarded through Area on Aging. And then so that's $3,150 will be covered. And then the remaining $1,825 will come out of fundraising dollars. And lastly, just on the tech front, the center is really increasing our presence there. The website, Jess is doing a really great job modifying it, and more people are using that. Schedules Plus is offering more features, which we're continuing to use for no additional cost. And hopefully in the near future, we'll be putting a link to Schedules Plus on our website so that people can just sign up from home for programs. And also in the tech front, the monthly email blasts are being sent out to over 275 active members of the center. And we now have 294 Facebook followers.
Very exciting report, Christy.
Well, thank you.
Yes, the
Exciting
numbers
is
are
good.
going up. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
awesome, Christy. It feels good.
Thank you.
And
And
just
I don't think
wait,
any of those craft programs are trivial because it really is about the connections, as you said. Yeah.
Wait
and
for the
just
new-
wait until we can do them in the new senior center.
Soon.
Okay. Any questions for Christy? If not, we need a motion to accept her report. A
I
motion to
make a motion to accept it.
Kathy did it. Janet, you want to second it?
Yes, I'll second
Okay,
it.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay, Kathy made the motion, Janet seconded. Okay, roll call vote. Janet,
Yes,
Jen,
Yes.
Arnie? Arnie just put up his finger. Okay, Viviana?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Kathy
Yes.
and myself, yes. Okay. Next item is youth services, Nancy. You're muted, Nancy. You're muted.
There, took about 4 times. I thought I had
Yeah.
unmuted already, sorry. Yeah, we had a winter paint party early in February at the middle school, and we had about 15 who signed up. About 13 of them showed up, and we had one walk-in. Actually, I had to call the parent and get permission, and principal paid for her. So it was a great program. We had snacks for the kids. They were just chatting the whole time. We had Picasso parties this time because Samantha Woodruff, who used to do our paint parties, took another position and she couldn't make it. But they were fabulous. We had 2 women come and help the kids. They set up little easels and the kids were so involved. They're like, can we just take the easels and set, so they put their little paintings on the table, but they really, again, talk about socialization. These kids really need this, and they're just so involved, chatting the whole time and just having fun with it. It was great to see what they come up with and just how many different takes there are on one painting that's a sample. But it was really fun. It was good to see the kids having fun. The after-school guided study program should be kicking off. I'm working with the coordinator over at Beecher Road School and gave the budgeted figure from the enhancement dollars that we received from DCF that will pay for it. I gave that to the finance person over at Beecher. 7th grade parent orientation. Well, they're calling it 7th grade parent orientation. We used to call it 6th grade. So it's really the 6th grade parents come to the middle school. So they did that last week, and I go up, I set up a table, and they've got me right at the front door now. So I'm so blessed to be there because I had about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 sign-up sheets to get information from parents, their email addresses. They check off whether or not they want to volunteer. I had flyers printed for our next program, so I was handing those out like crazy. And then I get to go in and actually talk to the parents, which was great because I get to, promote our program and just kind of make them feel comfortable asking questions. And so it was really nice. And being that they're Woodbridge and Bethany parents there, it's just really helpful to kind of put a name with a face. And we are promoting a program and we are getting, some emails about that. So it was really fun. 6th grade, Beth would meet and greet and programming. We changed the date. Originally, we had it set for St. Patty's Day. We were going to use that as a theme and kind of have fun with the kids. So we were bringing the 6th graders, which I got to promote last week, by the way. So it was really helpful to have the parents there. But we had to change it because we looked at calendars and realized each school, Beecher Road School and Bethany Community School, are both off that day, and we thought if they have a long weekend, they probably won't come Friday night because so many people go away. So we moved it. So we moved it to the 31st. It was agreeable with our DJ, and we will also have an inflatable obstacle course and pizza that night. So we are getting emails already from parents and phone calls, so it should be really a fun night. And that will be at the middle school. And we've already asked Dave Merriam, the Bethany trooper, to be there and attend. And we were going to get a charge. Actually, I did get an invoice from the district office for a custodian. Evidently, we're asking the custodian to stay later than they're scheduled now, so they must be leaving a bit earlier. But I called the office and was able to work that out, so they're not going to charge us this time, at least, for the custodian. But again, in discussing budgets, I'm looking at, possibly paying more for everything next year, including use of space and the custodial help. So we may have to change timing. I don't know, but we only have it scheduled for 7 to 9 this time, which I don't think is very late. So we shall see. Trying to set up a Red Cross babysitter training. we do have kids asking for that, but our instructor is unable to come during spring break, which is usually a perfect time to get the kids to come. So I am working with her. We may have to do it on a Saturday or maybe over 2 Saturdays. Problem then is space on Saturdays, because if I want to use the library space, they often have activities. So left a message for the library, waiting to hear back if I can use some space or if we can figure it out some other timing. I also want to set up the Home Alone course the week of spring break and would like to do that at the library as well. It's just a little more comfortable space. And so I'll work that out with them if I can. For Selectmen's Youth Award, we are seeking nominations. Information went out. We sent out emails to several people, our list from last year, plus we updated for people in the schools, counselors, and so forth. And we're hoping to get some nominations. I don't have any yet, but usually is a very last minute thing when people send in nominations. But we'll send out another reminder when it gets closer to the date that they're due. They're due April 3rd, and then the advisory board would get together and make a decision based on the nominations. So we're hoping. I also reached out to M&T Bank because People's Bank used to give us the sponsorship of $200 for a gift for the winner of the First Selectmen's Youth Award. So I reached out. I was kind of sent up the ladder, so sent an email to this gentleman, David Connor, and hopefully we'll hear back from him soon. We're hoping to get that sponsorship again. Awareness Week, I was at, usually we do it with the student council. I went last week to meet with the student council, and the advisor and I were there, and maybe she announced it too late, I don't know, but we didn't have one student show up to that meeting. So I'm hoping it works out. I know kids are very busy this time of year, but we do like to work with the students so that they help make some decisions. It just seems to mean more to them and to the rest of the students if they're involved. So we will try to work that out again. Seems like I keep trying. And I'm also working with there's a high school group where there are some older students who mentor some younger students. Last year we took them to Discovery Park to have some challenges together, and they have a minimum number of students, so that I don't think we'll be able to, make that amount. And so Youth Services and in Orange and Woodbridge will try to come together and fund something. So I suggested Prime Climb in Wallingford. It's a little more contained. It's indoors, but it's a really fun day, and maybe we can have lunch there with the kids. So we are trying to work on that with the high school. And there's another group of kids from the high school that the counselor asked if they could bring over, do a walkthrough of the Human Services Department. Sorry, Jeanette, I haven't talked to you about this yet. But then we talked also about a possibility of an intergenerational thing where they could come in and do something with the seniors. So Christy and I talked a little bit. She suggested bingo, but then, there might be some other ideas to work on. So we might be able to have them come in here. But then since the Orange Youth Services Director would be there, we thought we'd give her an opportunity to talk to the kids about what they do in Orange as well. So maybe we could move to the library meeting room if we can get it that day, and see if we can just kind of have a fun time together, have a lunch together maybe, and then either do a craft or play bingo or something else. Christy just had another idea she sent to me, so I'll look that over and come up with some ideas. Job Bank is starting to move a little bit. Got a few calls this week already, so I think with the weather change and after some storms, of course, there's some yard cleanup to do, and actually we're getting some more questions about tech help. Some people want the tech help, which we have these great students after school who help in the senior center, and they're just so patient and wonderful with them. So that was one phone call today that we got a request for that, and also through Job Bank. So some people like kids to come and help them set up their phones or work on a computer, just turning it on, setting it up. And it's great to see that, kids can be so helpful with our seniors. So I think that's all I have right now. And I probably will be starting on a grant again this year, because we do them every 2 years to the state. So there'll be another one coming up. Haven't heard exactly when that will come in, but that'll be starting probably another month or two. Any questions?
Hey, Nancy?
Yes.
Nancy, Dwight.
Hi, Dwight.
If M&T Bank balks at that sponsorship, okay, let us know. Let me know.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely.
Another
We'd be-
thing.
we would be
if that-
interested in
Great.
working with you on that.
I appreciate it. Thank you. That
Yep.
would be terrific. Wonderful. Thanks, Dwight. I'll let you know.
Nancy, I was curious about Awareness Week. So how do you normally get the message out?
So what we do is we work with the students and they like to get the message out. So we work on a different topic each day of the week. And then they work on different things with me. We might do some posters or whatever. I don't like to let it go too late in the game, because if we wanted to have a speaker in or whatever, it's just that as we get into May, it's testing month, and it's kind of sad for the kids, but there's a lot of testing going on. And maybe we'll come up with an after-school program then. I think it would be fun for the kids to do something then. So the kids come up with the ideas. We talk about different things. We may make some suggestions. Usually they do a day of silence just to kind of remind us there are people without a voice. And so they usually choose that for a Wednesday. Friday, we typically would do the Future is So Bright Day. Maybe I'll order sunglasses for the kids, plastic sunglasses with a little saying on the side, which are really fun. And then the baseball league through Dwight, they helped us a few years ago order kites for the kids so we could get them outside during COVID, and they just, they could decorate the kites and fly them. And it was just kind of a reminder that, we could lighten the moment a little bit. But we often do like the environment. And then what the kids do is each day of the week, well, it goes out in the newsletter to the parents the week before. And then the kids each day will make an announcement for what's going to happen the next day. They get on in the morning as well and make an announcement what they're doing that day. So they might do planning ahead, what type of career you might want to do or what kind of college you might want to go to. They might wear a sweatshirt from a college they're interested in. So it's just, we kind of let the kids run with it. Try not to make it too negative, maybe awareness of some things, the environment especially. That's always on my mind. But I don't like to push too far, but they do need some guidance on it for sure. So we just like to have the kids just thinking outside the box a little bit with concern for others. So they might do a collection, they might do a food collection. They just did a coat collection last week up there. So this advisor has always got other people in mind. She always wants to help others. So she often runs food collections for our food pantry. That's nice. Thanks for asking.
Sounds like lots of collaboration going on, Nancy.
Well, that's the only way I can work through the schools. Yeah.
Super.
Thanks.
Are there any other questions for Nancy? Okay. Thank you, Nancy. If not, I need a motion to accept Nancy's report.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Viviana, and a second?
I can second.
I can second.
Jen, okay, Jen.
Jen beat me out.
Yep, okay, so, all right. Janet,
Yes,
Jen,
Yes.
Arnie? Yes, thumbs up, okay. Viviana,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
myself, yes, okay. Jeanette, would you please give us the Human Services report?
Yes. So the first item is the renovation of the senior center. We were finally, I'll put a heavy sigh in front of finally. We received the schedule for completion, and we were sorely disappointed with that schedule. It's been slow moving, and a lot can be chalked up to the pandemic and supply chain, and a lot, I think, is also, I don't really believe that we are moving along. So it's hard to balance out the feeling of there are delays that could be helped. And so Silver Petroselli is working diligently to try and keep Olympus Construction in line and getting the items we need. Part of having such a long delay also increases more delays because items tend to go out of stock. Items are unavailable and new choices have to happen. And, you know, as I've reported before, we've had to really replace almost every single finish. And it's just been an arduous journey. The longer you wait, the less available the things you chose 6 months, 8 months ago, you know, those things are now no longer available. Companies have gone out of business. The delay for shipping is, you know, gone from whatever 4 weeks to 12 weeks. You know, the longer we wait, the longer this process will, it feeds on itself. So that is really very frustrating. And right now, what's mostly frustrating us is that the end is looking like mid-June, which, you know, would probably become July 1 in, you know, just in a second breath, it becomes July 1. This was supposed to be completed in 5 months and it started in September. So we're already at double the length. We have the Living Treasure in September. So a grand opening in July or August seems like a very awful time to do a grand opening in the middle of summer. However, if those are our only choices, we're not going to compete against our own event in September to have a grand opening. It's a little disheartening. We're going to meet again on Wednesday morning and really push to have this completed by the end of May. But again, it is what it is. We can't change the fact that things take 12 or 15 weeks to be delivered, that you know, the HVAC system is still not all on premise and they can't continue to work on it, and nothing else can be done until the HVAC is completed. You know, they installed the kitchen lights, and first thing I thought of is, gee, you installed the kitchen lights before you painted the room. They were like, well, you wanted us to move forward, so we did something. And so I guess they'll have very good painters who can paint around those new fixtures, because we sure don't want any paint on those fixtures. You know, it's just frustrating to be planning for the end of June when we thought we were planning for March, April. And so we'll make the most of it. It's still a very exciting process to be in. We're still very grateful to have gotten here at all. We're completely committed to getting this done and getting it done within budget. Every decision is made about our bottom line. How much money do we have left? Can we afford this additional item? I shouldn't say additional, substitute, because everything is about substitutions. We're not getting any of our first choices, which those choices were made both for longevity, something that would last a long time and be a very good choice, for the look, for the price, for the ability to clean it and keep it clean. You know, a lot went into these, user-friendly, you know, a lot went into these decisions. And every time we have to replace those decisions, it feels like we're losing just a little bit. So something that had a warranty of 15 years might now only have 12 years. Something that had a soundproofing at a 7 or 8 is now only a 4 or 5, because that's all we could approve, you know, we can include in our budget. Every decision is made with cost, and there are only so many dollars, and we're not getting more. So yeah, that's it. It's just a tough process. We really thought the ramp and restroom went in so smoothly and with such ease. It was pre-pandemic, I understand, and it was just a very rewarding process. This has been less so. I'm sure Susan, Christy can concur. With the center building renovation, Dwight can speak in if he would like. He is the chair of the committee. It looks like, I know I wrote March or April in my report. It will be the April meeting where the Board of Selectmen will look to the $55,000 for the design phases 1 through 5. And we're going to hold on and wait for that. But in the meantime, we get to move ahead with the gym project. Very exciting. The ARPA funds that came to the town, the 2.6 million, and you know that 275,000 had already come to the HVAC system in the senior center. Now there's a typo here. It's $333,000. It's not 333. So I'll correct that in my report. But $333,000 is coming to help with the HVAC and bathrooms and gym floor for the gym renovation. And you know that there was $500,000 previously from the STEEP grant. The bid, Dwight can talk more about this if he'd like. The bid came in a little over $1 million to do the gym, and we didn't have $1 million. So this will help us. A lot of that cost can be associated with ADA compliance. We wanted to address some of the ADA problems, one of which is just the width of the doors to enter the gym is not ADA compliant. The ADA compliant restroom, since it was built, the parameters for ADA compliance have changed, so that the restroom is not compliant. And so there are parts of this project I'm hopeful. Dwight can, jump in. But I'm hopeful that we can get as much of it as possible done with that amount.
Well, as she said, we've got about $833,000 right now in the kitty to spend. We have an estimate received from the architect of a little over $1 million. So we're meeting Wednesday morning to go through and actually list all the items we really need to get done in a list of 1 through whatever in a priority listing, but we'll try to get as much as we can. Whatever we don't fit within the budget, what we're gonna do is we'll do alternates. So we can always do that. So if the bids come in less, whatever it is, then we can start exercising alternates and we can do some of the extra work. But some of the, the priorities right now is to do all the mechanical work in the gym. We're gonna have to re-roof the lower roof, which is where the mechanical equipment is gonna sit. We may end up doing some structural dunnage underneath that roof to support the equipment. Again, we're not sure yet, but in a meeting on Wednesday, the mechanical engineer is also coming with the architect, so we'll have a much better idea of the scope of work in order. So we are moving ahead. And so, and as Jeanette said, we're waiting on that $55,000. So we can at least start, we can at least do phase 1, and we can do, we can examine the entire building, top to bottom, exterior roofing, interior mechanical, electrical system set up so that we can come up with a list of items that really need to get done. And then again, we can look to list those in a priority listing. So, but we are hopeful. At least we were able to attain the 333,000. Originally, we weren't even in the thing, and then this was like a last minute memo I wrote, and we were able to at least get some of that money. So, which was good for us. So,
thank you, Dwight. Yeah, so we are moving ahead. The gym is very important to, so many of us who work in recreation, in human services, senior center, the library, youth services, the childcare center. That room can really be, once the floors are finished, Nancy can have events in there with food. You know, it is, it's really something that will be used, town meetings, elections. That room is constantly in use, and it really should be upgraded and accessible to all.
And it will be conditioned. And it will be
sorry?
air conditioned. It will be
And air
conditioned.
conditioned.
And
Yeah.
it will be conditioned, so it won't be hot. We'll have
Right.
it flowing and everything in there. That's
Right.
the intent.
Right. If we ever do another blood drive, we won't have to worry about ruining the blood. Okay, programs and trainings. I'll be quick about this. We are running the VITA program. Unfortunately, one of our volunteers has become ill, and so we're really short-staffed. But Ellen is doing a super job. The other volunteers are picking up where others, you know, really just jumping in and getting these returns done and meeting the needs of so many people who need to have this help. And we have a CPR class that we were planning for 3 new staff members, 2 drivers, and the program coordinator in youth services, going to train them, CPR, AED, first aid. And all of the rest of us are due our training first week in June. So a class in late May has been scheduled. COVID test kits, QVHD did arrange. A previous staff member is now coordinating for us. And we have new test kits coming in next week, actually at the end of this week. So if you know anyone who's, you know, been exposed or going on a trip, just coming back from a trip, wants to go visit an elderly relative, you know, we have some test kits coming in. We're all out right now, but give us a call. We have plenty of masks, N95s, and surgical masks. I put something in your reports, a survey that team was looking to have people complete. So if you take a look at that, they are our community partner, and they are looking for help. And they'll enter you in a drawing for $100 gift card if you participate. So yeah, there's a lot of questions though. And just lastly, we are working with a resident and our 2 residents who are coordinating an effort to do a collection from an area of Turkey where her city that she came from is, and they are literally collecting the items and going to send them directly to this region with no government intervention of taking any of the supplies. I know people have worries about their relief aid getting directly to Turkey. So there's a collection box at Town Hall, and Ellen also put a collection box outside the gym. I put in the Woodbridge Town News a way of getting in touch with these folks. They are recommending a specific aid agency for donations. If you're interested, 47,000 people have now died as a result of the earthquake and follow up aftershocks. They also experienced flooding and fire in her city. So if anyone's interested in that, see the Woodbridge Town News. There is a aid agency she recommends, and I vetted them enough to look to see that both McDonald's and Madonna have donated to this one agency. So I figure it kind of covers the gamut of whether or not they're trustworthy. And that's almost it for me. I have one more item. I almost forgot, Christy. I'm so sorry. We are exploring the use of local town resident volunteers to deliver meals. These are the purchased meals to our clients. And we have approval from Tony Genovese to move ahead with seeing if some local residents are looking for some volunteer hours. It would be limited a couple of hours on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And we're actually looking for 2 volunteers so that we could divide up, it's about 12 to 14 residents who are receiving these meals right now, multiple meals. So it can take a little bit of time to do. So if anyone has a friend, neighbor who just happened to mention to you they were looking for a volunteer opportunity, we're not going to advertise on Indeed. We don't want somebody from another town coming and saying, oh, well, maybe it'll lead to a job. We really just want, someone local, a mom who's got some hours in the middle of the day. Not that I know any moms who do. Or a retired person. Maybe I'll get my husband to do it. Somebody who is just looking to really give back to their community. So it's just putting it out there that if you know of somebody looking to do some volunteer work, we're interested in this. And this would not, and I repeat, not be driving the town vehicles, and it would not be transporting any of the seniors. This is only for delivering lunches. And that's it for me. Any questions?
Jeanette, can I just clarify one thing?
I thought I did.
Just about the meal delivery, it's weekly. There's 12 to 14 deliveries that are done. It's not, there's not only 12 to 14 people who use the program, just to clarify that.
Okay, sure.
I just have one question on it. So are people using their own vehicles and buying their own gasoline? Or are they putting in for mileage to get reimbursed? I'm just curious how that works.
No, it would be volunteer your car.
Mhm.
It's just driving around town. We'd help them find the least wasteful gas route.
Mhm.
We're good at that now, and have them do half a dozen or so deliveries in about an hour's time. It really, I've done it a few times when a driver's been out sick, and it's really actually kind of fun. And you get to say, here are your meals for the week. And, I know that Meals on Wheels does it with volunteers. This is a little different. The people who get Meals on Wheels are in a different category than these people. These people are can get out, they can be out and about, and they can afford to buy these meals. So they're not clients in need, to be clear. That's it, Susan.
Sounds like a good idea. Okay, if there are no more questions, could we have a motion to accept Jeanette's report? Motion?
I'll make the motion to
Okay,
accept the
Kathy,
report.
fine. Somebody want to second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, Jen, or Viviana raised her hand, so we'll let Viviana, okay. All right, okay. Janet,
Yes.
Jen,
14? Yes.
14.
Arnie? Yes, thumbs up. Viviana,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Okay. Lots going on. Well, as always, feel proud to hear the reports and see all the work that's done with such a degree of enthusiasm and everything. Any old business or new business to come before? And Dwight, thank you for coming and being part of our team here. Okay. Okay. Next meeting is Monday, April 3rd. And I will need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Donna, okay. And a second?
I'll second that.
Jen, okay. We don't even need to vote on it. It's by acclamation, right? And again, our abrupt thing and we're gone. But you all did hear. Those of you I couldn't speak to, I left messages on your machine. That Pat did his wife died, and a card was sent. So he's aware of the fact that that we all are expressed our condolences to him. And I went yesterday to the memorial service that was really very beautiful, the church in town. So anyhow, okay, can't think of anything else.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good to see you all.
Good night.
Bye.
Happy,
Good night.
happy almost spring.